Hello. I am back. All right. Sounds like something. Oh, I gotta mute my computer so I don't get feedback. And I'm just going in to make sure that I can get onto the live on my computer. That's actually gone live. Perfect. It already has. Sweet. We have both quality control inspectors on duty tonight. We have the fabulous Flynn. We also have Dahlia, who's the itty bitty black kitty back here. And you can stare into the abyss of my sewing room because I've turned the lights off because this is enough light to sew by. Saving a little bit of electricity, not much. Alright, so I found the handle for the banana cat bag that didn't have a handle earlier today. So I'm going to sew it. And then I did actually go cut a bunch of key fobs and scrunchies as well. We are going to sew the scrunchies tonight, and then I'm going to work on the triangle pouches because the actual key fobs need some TLC, because it's like they need to be ironed actually before I can make them. Alright, so I use the burrito method for scrunchies. Super straightforward. I'm going to chain piece all the pieces first, and then we will burrito method them. Probably trim that down a little bit. These are some like of the leftovers and like box bag cuts that never got made into box bags and stuff like that. So I just went through my scrap bin basically. Not even fully scrap bin, but just like the leftovers. This is leftover sewing, which is awesome because some of these fabrics are really good. It'll add some variety that like just doing new fabrics just doesn't. Yeah, and I think the scrunchies will be super popular. It's just that I need more selection of them available than I've had at the last couple shows. So. There's also some pieces in here that have had to be washed again recently. Or not like recently, but they had been washed, and then like the color went a little bit, like I ended up with stuff that was too dark in the load and didn't separate my colors well enough. So some of them went dingy. Those are not getting made into scrunchies. Those actually got put aside, and I'll figure out what to do with them later, I guess. Everything's getting postponed to after Knit City now. But I am on time, which is awesome. The kids actually went to bed fairly early. It was still hard to get my butt down here. But that's okay because they went to bed earlier. Now I don't know if that means that they'll wake up earlier tonight or not. The last couple times that they've gone to bed like super early, they haven't. So if they don't, I will take it. We'll get as much work done as we can tonight. The scrunchies are a good one to do because I can elastic them when my friend is here on the weekend. And then like turn them, and then they'll just have their finishing seams as well. The key fobs will need an actual iron and like a press into the shape that I need to sew them as. So they may or may not happen tonight. It's going to depend on how quickly we get through the triangle pouches. But I just need a little bit of a like mental break from actual bags, so that's why we're doing some accessory sewing right now. I know I keep bemoaning the fact that I have not started the Kato, but I don't think I'll start the Kato until Friday, when the kiddos are in school and like out of the house, because it's not that they take a lot of concentration, but that'll just give me, it'll give me the ability to dedicate my time like those bags need. There we go. I still don't quite know how I'm gonna sew them this time because I was so particular about putting the like basically almost kitted it up for myself. So now I need to figure out how I want to sew them. If I kind of want to sew them individually, it's not very time efficient. But I guess it's just whatever gets them done at this point. That's the most efficient manner. So if I was worried about efficiency, I wouldn't be doing scrunchies right now, really. not have enough hair for scrunchies right now. I cut it all off for training in August because I was just like, I either do this or I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die in this heat, or I will at least give myself like severe heat stroke. So I went and chopped it all off. It's actually growing in quite quickly, which is surprising because I always thought my hair grew slow. But yeah, it's good, but yeah, not enough to put a scrunchie in yet. It'll take a while. I've been keeping it a little bit shorter anyway because with the curls I find it's easier to maintain the shorter hairstyle as it is. It also helps keep the curls healthy and like bouncy, all of that. Like there's been a few things that have helped, like getting a wide toothed comb, stuff like that. Felt really bad because I went and bought a new comb for the kiddos, and my eldest was so excited about the Disney, like the wet brushes, and but it's like we can't use those. The curly hair products are never the pretty ones. And they don't have a lot of curl, but they've got enough that like I want the wide tooth comb, because otherwise combing it is just going to be an unpleasant experience for everyone, because of course it tangles really easily with how fine their hair is right now. So of course they don't understand that, but I do. It's also taking me a very long time to figure out what works for my curls, so if they have curly hair, at least they'll have a starting point with mine. But yeah, it's definitely the boring, like actual like products. At least there. Alright, so that was step 1 for scrunchies. I'm wondering if these actually need a press as well. They look like they need an iron. So now that we've got the seams in, we will set them aside, and I will put them under the press, because realistically they're already flat. You can just put them under the steam press, and boom, they'll be ready to go. But yeah, we'll make them look prettier, because realistically there is no ironing of the scrunchies once they're started to sew, and I bet you that these, like, it's just gonna show up really easily. Yeah. Okay, we'll set those aside, because even more than I don't really feel like sewing bags, I do not feel like doing ironing tonight. So accessories. Any work you do today will be fine. I'll just roll over into the next show. So I just told a friend. Alright, so tonight we're doing the top stitching on the triangle pouches, and then hopefully also I did not get the ribbon, like the tabs cut yet. To be honest, post-school today was a bit of a disaster. Not in a terrible way, but it was well, I guess part of it was this afternoon. So my youngest and I actually laid down for like a 2.5 hour nap, which for us, well, for the youngest right now, is like super rare. Like we've cut their naps back to about half an hour typically, and that's on busy days, because otherwise they're just a beast to put down for bed. I think they might be a little bit sick. They've been sleeping a lot, or going through a growth spurt or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, after that we did go out for like a quick bike ride, and I actually got them up the hill and around and coming back home looking for Daddy's truck, basically, which worked until they started running downhill and then smashed themselves on the ground. Nothing looks like no broken teeth or anything. It didn't look like they even really hit their face. They still had their little helmet on from being on the starter bike, which was good. But yeah, they skinned their knee pretty good. And then when I went to try to put a band-aid on them, of all things, they absolutely lost it, and I don't know why. So that was like, what is going on? So I left it be. I cleaned it up, because that's what I was worried about. They like skinned themselves on the sidewalk, which is gross. It's also like along the actual like house where the dog just basically, there's dog poop all along the side of the house. So you know that that's washing down along the sidewalk and everything like that, especially because we just had rain. Anyway, cleaned it up a little bit, and then I was like, okay, when we were getting ready for bed, I was like, I'm going to put a Band-Aid on the knee tonight so that they sleep with the Band-Aid on with some polysporin. And that led to like just utter meltdown. So we did bedtime early tonight. My eldest was like, had already had their power nap post school, but they were ready. The youngest took a while, but it wasn't like a fussy while, it just took a while. But yeah, the Band-Aid thing, it was like, how we stuck. I'm wondering if like they just don't like having the Band-Aid on, or if they don't like taking the Band-Aid off afterwards. That could be it. I don't know. Oh well, did the best I could. We'll deal with the rest of those consequences tomorrow. Part of this is I knew that if I put a Band-Aid on them in the shorts that they were wearing, like previously in the day, they would have just yanked. Like the Band-Aid would have been gone instantly, pretty much. It's like, that sounds like the bobbin has run out. Not quite. We're still good. What else did we do today? That's it. We didn't really do much. What did I come down and do earlier? We were watching Blaze. Oh, and I was pairing up and cutting down scrunchies and key fobs. That's what I did this afternoon. That's right. I did that work off camera. I also matched them up with the last of the non-fusible interfacing that I have. Or had. It's now all cut up and gone. Or will be incorporated into these key fobs. Which I hope works because it's like they're folded key fobs. So. Now I don't typically iron or press the triangle pouch fabric away more than I'm doing like on camera right now, which is basically a finger press. It would be really hard. It honestly is harder to iron these with their fabrics away from the zipper than it, like, yeah, the effort's just not worth it. I get a better result with the finger press than I do putting it under an iron, because with the iron it ends up kind of smushing the interior fabric into the zipper instead of away from the zipper, and that's not what you want. You want, see, you want the like interior fabric to go away, not get pressed like further up like this, because that's what usually happens. And that's one of the reasons why bags end up in timeout regularly. Ooh, I did find fabric to make the Cuddle Puddle handle as well. It will not be done for Knit City since we're done large box bags, but I did not find the handle, but I did find fabric for a handle, which is 75% as good as finding the other handle. I am actually going to do a count, I just realized, because I'm like, this feels like it's going to take a while, and I doubt it will, but you never know. That's 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10, 3, 4, 5, 15. 23. Sweet, that's not bad. That's just the light top stitching, but that's okay. We'll get it sorted. And looking at these, this is a situation where like all but I think 1 or 2 of these will get I think the gray macaron critters will probably end up with the black poles and maybe the sushi neko. Probably sushi neko as well, so. Also give my kiddos preschool a heads up that they have started actually counting in Japanese. So if it does not sound like English, it's very likely to be Japanese. So I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, they're just like whipping these numbers out randomly. I don't know if they would do it at school, but better to give them a heads up maybe. I don't know. Was it maybe a bit of a humble brag as well? Yeah, probably, but whatever. I am very proud of that. It's more I just don't want necessarily to say that that's not how you count, I guess, and stuff like that. There we go. Print Paula's order off again and do like an actual proper count before we go and box it up separate so I don't mess it up with the actual stock, because it's like I don't think she's ordered 2 of these citrus bags, but she might have. I'm pretty sure she didn't. I'm like 95% sure she didn't, but you know, better safe than sorry. So I'll do another check of that before I pack up for Vancouver. Alright, 20 bags. Ha ha ha. Yes, I will have to go through and actually trim all of these threads, but again, it's that chain piecing idea, so it's still less thread to just kind of jump the end of the zipper there than it is to like cut and start again as well. Go. I think these penguins should all have dark pull tabs, so the black twill. This is my gut saying that, but I think it would look very good. And actually it would look really good with the light zippers because it would look like a penguin. There we go. Decided. Easy. Oh dear. I'm excited though because I have a feeling if the kids cooperate, I should be able to get through the majority, like I should be able to get these through to their turning phase tonight and then wrap on them tomorrow with a little bit of TV daycare. Actually, what's the forecast supposed to look like tomorrow? Decent-ish. It's not terrible. 18 degrees, sunny. We had a massive not thunderstorm, but just a massive rainstorm come through while the youngest and I were napping. Just absolutely poured down. 17. This is the 17. Dump those over the back a bit better, hopefully. Okay, my other bobbin is already wound. That's good. Admit to very much just wanting to go to bed right now. 10:15. Oh man. Dude, I start yawning already. I just drank a Coke Zero, so that should help, but apparently not tonight. I definitely needed that nap earlier today, but it was one of those naps where it's like I woke up and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Don't know if this helped or if it hindered me. These laps are the worst ones. Going through and finishing off the triangle pouches for Knit City Vancouver and for Baaad Anna's, which is on Hastings Street in Vancouver. It's actually just down from the Peony Forum, which is why I'm doing such a big push to get it done now, because then it saves me the hassle and worry of shipping it, and it saves Paula the shipping. We're gonna have to individually do those katos. Just thinking about them, like kind of do each package, I guess, up until you're basically smashing them together to finish them. So that's not too bad. So sew the exterior, sew the interior, pockets interior together. Then I can clip it all together, and then I can move on to the next one. I think what I could, I was about to say, what I could do is I could do like chain piece the drawstring channels, which I can do. Except I can't actually now that I think about it, because that means that it'll get pulled away from the half of the kit that needs it. But we can chain piece the canvas sewing to the exterior tops, which is nice. So we need to sew those and then top stitch all of them. So the nice thing about that one is at least it's just black thread for all of it. And actually what I'll do then is I will sew the canvas bottoms onto the bags with black thread as well, just because it's like there's less likelihood of, if there's any gapping, that'll show through. Not that there should be gapping, but it'll just blend in better. And yes, even on the lighter fabrics it'll blend in fine, the lighter uppers. Through and get the zipper going on the other side for top stitching. Mako is going to be like, this is going to be a super killer little triangle pouch. Let's see if we can actually get it. So it's going to like look like that when it's finished. Obviously with all the little tabs and everything like that, but it's so cute. This print is like made for triangle pouches because it's the right like size for it and everything. It's awesome. It's one of those like really versatile fabrics where I've used it in every single size and it looks good in every single size. It's ridiculous and awesome. We are down to 10 white top stitching triangle pouches, and then we'll swap over to the black thread for the black top stitched triangle pouches, and then we'll cut all the ribbon tabs. The ribbon tabs are a little bit different length than they are for the large box bag. The large box bag size would just like overwhelm this size, so we will cut them to the proper length. Well, I am also very pleased with how quickly these have come together, considering that we started the zippers last night, and then I actually found more. And then when I had finished, I was like, I'm done turning all these bags. I'll go pick up my youngest. I turned around and found a stack of them in the bin behind me, so they've been turned. They're in the counts now. I was just like, of course. I don't even remember putting them back there, and there's like a stack of like 8 or something like that. Anyway, got them turned out as well and split into the proper top stitching piles, but like I said, something's causing mischief in the studio. That isn't me. I just create chaos along with my critters, my cats, and my kiddos. Chaos every day. That's fine. Gotta figure out what we're doing tomorrow for like some activities. I think we should go to the library actually. We definitely have a lot of books to return. And then we can choose some new ones out, and that'll be a good out-of-house thing. And I don't know what else. I do need to get some work done tomorrow, obviously, as well. Can't just leave it all to the nighttime. But maybe that's when I'll actually iron the key fobs and the scrunchies, because that's something I can do while they're playing around down here, or even like outside. The ironing board's transportable. Oh, excuse me. This hamster fabric's also adorable in this size. If I have time after I finish the Kato sewing, I will hand pick a few of the hamster bags out of the small box bag bin to actually finish, because that would be adorable. They weren't in the large box bags to finish because I think I made a knot bag out of them. That would make sense. And there's only a meter of the fabric, so probably a knot bag, small box bag cut, and then I definitely made some like an eyeglass case out of it. Over, get flattened, and go. 6 left. still itchy. Every single time I get on stream. It's not itchy the rest of the day. And I get on stream and it's like, hey, it must be fabric fluff. Just like lint. There you go. As I touch my head. Okay. My youngest right now has a propensity, especially while you're putting them to bed, of like touching your cheek and being like soft. And then today it was like so soft. It's like cutest, creepiest thing they could do. And they also sent it to my mother-in-law while they were over there today. It's like, yeah, they came up and like touched my face and were like soft. Dallas thinks there must be a kid at daycare that does it. And I'm like, no, well, there it probably is. But that's what we do with the cats. It's like you touch them and it's like, oh, they're so soft. So I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Although touching people and saying, oh, soft, so soft, is not what we do. It's glad he's doing it just to family members, because I'm like, at least I haven't heard that he, like, from anyone else that he's been doing it to them, so that's good. Ugh. Four more, ha ha ha. Does the count actually go moi ha ha, or is it ha ha ha? I haven't been watching enough Sesame Street recently, apparently. We've been watching a lot of Gabby's Dollhouse, which is adorable. And Leo the Truck, which is new, although I don't mind it. It's a little bit slower, which is nice. And Number Blocks. That one's been popular for a while. Paw Patrol. Oh, I'm trying to get us away from Paw Patrol because I'm tired of listening to it. It's like I'm very glad that they're on Gabby's for a little bit. And Blaze and the Monster Machines is really popular with my youngest, so. Okay, 3 more. Partly a Charlie stream tonight because I took my earbuds out of their case last night and set it somewhere and I have not found it. And they are most definitely completely discharged. I'm just like, ugh. It's the one thing I hate about these AirPods. And especially, so the second generation at least has like a search function for the case. I have the first generation, and for the first while it was really bad because the kids would hide the case on me. I was like, well, that's kind of useless. And like a massive design flaw. But, oh well, I'll just have to look for it a little bit better. I think it's probably under all the fabric that's on the desk behind me. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Well, I will figure it out. I'll figure this one out before Knit City though, because I want to listen to my audiobooks while I'm sewing. At least during the day, so. Alright, there's the white top stitching done. So that means we'll swap the threads for black. And we'll move on to the black top stitching. And then we'll split everything up into piles for whether they're going to get the like unbleached pull tab or if they're going to get black pull tab. Because the majority of these are probably going to go unbleached, but like a few like the macaron critters, and I think the penguins as well will get black. So actually it's going to be a half and half split pretty much. Let me look at that pile with the number of penguin triangle pouches that are in there. And then these are dark ones. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So that was 10, 3, 4, 5, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 20, 3, 4, 5, 25, 26, and it took us about 40 minutes to get the other set done, so I would imagine about the same for this, because I have a feeling it's probably the same numbers, or the same amount. We just hadn't counted it before I started last time. Alright, black thread. Bobbin. Bobbin, bobbin, bobbins. Okay, there is a full bobbin and there's a partially used bobbin. I'm going to use the full bobbin because that means we aren't going to have to swap it in the middle of this. Yeah, because we used about 2/3 of a bobbin for the top stitching there. And yes, that will put me at a little bit of a disadvantage when I go to like actually wind the bobbins, but that's okay. It doesn't take the whole bobbin to wind a bobbin. And we could always wind a black bobbin while using white thread. That's what I do a lot of the time. Because I'm not even going to swap the white bobbin thread right now. I'm just going to swap the top thread. Round and round. Black thread in. Oh, come on. There's the end. Come on. There we go. Up. Through. I'm going to trim that end because it's frayed. Just makes it easier to get it through like the whole machine, especially the needle. Round and round and down. And through, up. Through, oop, missed. There we go. Down. In. Through. Come on, you got it. Both the machine and I. We have both have it. And threaded. I don't know why sometimes it's so easy to thread the needle and then sometimes it's like poke pop. Sometimes it takes forever. Okay, there we go. That's a very long tail for what I normally do, but whatever. So what did I say, 26? I guess it's 26. So let's go for it. That bobbin doesn't sound like it's set proper. So I think it's like tight. It doesn't sound right. That's because it's not threaded right. Okay, so it's coming out of this hole, which it's not supposed to. Or at least it was wrapped around wrong. It's supposed to go in here. I don't know if you can actually see that. So the thread comes off, goes in here, and comes up through this casing opening right there. And yeah, so it was caught on the other one and was tight because now it's flowing out of the bobbin freely. So I kind of caught that when I pulled the thread up, but you know. Oh yeah, that's way better. Okay. Alrighty. At least there's less likely to be snarls and stuff like that with the bobbin thread actually running properly. I still wish they had figured out a way to make a bobbin larger by this point. It's like, come on. We've got embroidery machines and we've got sergers and neither of them need bobbins. Oh no, embroidery machines do need bobbins. Never mind, I lied. But anyway, sergers don't need bobbins. You just set your cones up. It must be how it's like threaded. And I'm pretty sure there's lots of like, I know there's explanations for it, but there's magic happening under there between the bobbin case and the needle. I don't understand it. Because I haven't looked into it enough. I just know when it works, it works. And when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. Bobbins can get so angry, it's hilarious. They're like one of the smallest functioning parts on this machine besides the needle. Or like in the grand scheme of everything. And if they throw a fit, you are going to have a bad sewing day typically. That's when it's usually better to like when I was struggling with the serger. It was like, it's better to sometimes to step back because honestly, most of the time it's contagious. So if you move to another machine, it feels like, you're just in for a world of trouble. Because they know. They must talk to each other. Or it's whatever's causing mischief in my studio. But honestly, we have had really good sewing luck this year. I haven't even had a lot of stuff with like sewing nests and stuff like that. So I'll take it. Probably jinxed myself now, but I'll take it for now. These sage bunnies are gonna, like, those are also gonna be an adorable triangle pouch. Like, just look at that. Look at that. So cute. Like, I know on some level when I'm picking these fabrics out in Japan what's going to work and what isn't going to work. Now, and some do surprise me. There's like, and I knew this would be cute, but it's just like, you don't really know until you're fully in it and it's nearly done usually, like this. But now I'm just like, yes, I made excellent choices in November. Good job, past Katie. I do say so myself. Okay, we're doing a double stitch line there because I missed the first top stitch line, so we'll probably trim that back, and then it twinned up here, so I'm not too worried about it. Not trim it back, but like seam rip it out afterwards. For now, we're just gonna continue. Actually, I probably should seam rip that now. I'll get to it later and I'll be like, hey, I don't feel like seam ripping. I never feel like seam ripping though. It's like weaving in ends on knitting, I think. Although I don't know of any sewists that like seam ripping, to be honest. So I guess the better analogy isn't seam sewing. It would be the tinking. So like ripping back knitting and stuff like that. Hey, sociopath. I don't actually know your name. Sorry. I'm just like realizing, I'm like, wait, I only know your handle. But yeah, I'm gonna just seam rip this a little bit that kind of wandered off of the path that should have gone on here. That is one of the casualties sometimes of chain piecing the work, is it's like just outside forces are their own beastie. Okay. Looks like I am going to have someone to block a little bit later. If you can't see the live chat, there will be blocking later. Yeah, I hate seam ripping too. I don't know. Well, okay. I think I will take seam ripping over on like tinking something back, like ripping the knitting out. But I don't know. Depends on the project. Actually, no, that is a lie. I will 100% take seam ripping over tinking something back. Because like I've already sewn the replacement seam on this one. Tinking back sometimes involves ripping the whole, well, it's not tinking back. Sometimes it's ripping out the whole project. Okay, there we go. Those lines are like right in each other now. And then just trim up the actual threads here. And there we go. That works. There's a little bit of deviance there, so I'll take that out as well. No, I'm gonna leave that there because I don't know which line is which, and it looks fine. Okay. If I can't tell which line is which, then it's fine. Okay, so that is top stitch there.